I'm Andrew. My teammate's Aleks. Today we're presenting our application here, Admire. It's basically a visual question answering system. So you can see my face in the webcam here. I'm just going to use an example for right now. So I took an image of my dog and I asked it, am I a person? Inference usually takes about 10 to 15 seconds. So in the meantime, I'm just going to talk about, why I chose this project. So I did this project for the full stack deep learning's final project. But in that time, I was only able to write the deployment code. So I wasn't able to write any of the data management or the model development code. It was pretty bare bones. So the main goal of this project was working with Aleks here to write all of that. And yeah, as you can see here, it returns correctly. No. We can try another example. Just a picture of myself. And I ask it, what color is my shirt? So you can see here the background is totally different. It's completely different, and it answers white correctly. So like I say, it has a fairly decent understanding of what's going on. So Aleks here will now talk about the pipeline itself.
All right. So the basic premise of this architecture is that we have an image. In our context, is the webcam image, and then we want to ask a question. So in this example, we have how many benches are there in this picture. In the pipeline, there are like 4 main pieces. The main thing is on the right side, the GPT-3, which makes the final inference. But there are also 3 other models running alongside. The first one is the few-shot images that gives the few-shot examples for the GPT-3 model with the help of the database of images and the question we give it to it. Then we have an image captioning model, which is a vision transformer mixed with GPT-2 that creates image captions, which will be the actual context for the image we are trying to get the answer to. And then alongside there is an object detection model that gives tags such as benches, slides, and swings in this particular image. So the main pipeline is that we ask the question, then we get the few-shot examples to give the context, how to answer to these kind of questions. Then we give the actual image context, which is the kids' playground with the slide and swings. Then we have the objects from that image where we have slide, swing, 2 benches, and a tree. And then we get the correct answer, which is 2 at the end.
Awesome. And so now I'll talk about the how we incorporated ZenML. So we incorporated it as part of our data management, and more specifically, the data validation. So we used its integration with Great Expectations, and we run a data check offline on the entire training and validation set. And we log all our results to S3. We log it to a bucket. And as you can see here, all the files that Great Expectation saves is saved here. So we have that for offline monitoring and just for ourselves when in development. And so the main repo is structured as different folders that each describe a part of the project lifecycle. So for example, API serverless describes the backend handler code for using AWS Lambda. There's App Radio that manages the front end code. And this really allows for a seamless interaction with the code itself, both in development and in production. So in development, it's really easy to test certain parts of it. So for example, if you want to start running an experiment or start training, it's just a file within the training folder. If we want to start the app locally, it's also just another command away. We also have another testing folder named tasks, which is just a bunch of shell scripts. So we can run it with relative ease. And this allows for a really easy production setup too. All we really do is just set up a couple of terminals and we run App Radio. So we just run the Gradio app itself. We port it with local tunnel so that we have a permanent link. and we just run this shell script, which simply just constantly checks to see if there are any push commits to the repo. And if so, we check the performance, and if it's improved, we simply just push a new Docker image up to AWS Lambda. That's our presentation. The website's here at admira.loca.lt, and the GitHub repo is also attached here. Thanks.